Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's indeed a pleasure to have Dr. Doherty here from Nigeria. I must say that a couple of years ago, while doing the blend kit at UCF, University of Central Florida, we got connected somewhat. And I realized that Dr. Doherty has a passion for education. And I know that she works at Yaba College in Nigeria for several years. She has been a stalwart person as it relates to teaching online, blended learning, and I can always rely on her for some sort of connection over the years. We have, as a matter of fact, presented at OLC regarding our work on blended learning. So at this point in time, I want to say welcome, Dr. Doherty, to this little informal interview. And I must say it's a pleasure to connect with you because you are part of me. I would say, as I recalled earlier before we started the interview, that I am actually part connected to Nigeria based on my DNA. I realized recently from doing my DNA that I'm part Nigerian based on ancestry. So we do have a connection. Now, I want you to tell me a little about yourself as we move into the interview.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jowallah. It's a pleasure, and I'm happy about this connection again. I know we have connected many years ago, and when I saw your message on LinkedIn, I was like, wow, it's been a while. And I'm happy that we're having this interview. So I am Dr. Funmilayo Doherty, and I work at Yaba College of Technology as a lecturer. And I started as a part-time lecturer in 2003. And then in 2004, I became a full-time staff. So about 18 years, you know, um, till now as a lecturer.
We say that you're a veteran because you've done over 10 years now, right? So, so what is your role at Yaba College?
All right. So I wear many hats. So Yaba College of Technology is a TVET institution. And TVET is Technical Vocational Education and Training. So I facilitate learning there. I carry out research. I mentor students. Um, I also supervise the final year students projects. And in addition to that, I publish research articles. I have about 46
Wow,
uh,
that's a lot.
right now.
You're doing some work there, right?
Small number.
Small number compared to others, but I think you have done a lot. Well done, well done.
Thank you. So, and I also write books. So I have co-authored about 6 books, you know.
Excellent.
Yeah, co-authored about 6 books. So, and I sometimes, several times I've been appointed to chair the organizing committee of conference in Yaba College of Technology. And just last year, I was the local organizing chair for the Women in Technical Education and Employment conference.
I want us to move a bit, and I want you to tell me a little about your passion. Why education? You could go on into any other field, but why did you decide to select education?
Well, education because I love to impart knowledge and mentor young ones, and I also like to expand my knowledge base, you know, and I have a lot of former students, ex-students who come back to me to say thank you for the impact I have made in their lives, and that gives me joy, and that's the fulfillment for me. So I'm always happy to be a part of my students' life and in shaping the next generation. So that's the passion for me.
I
I love
love that.
seeing
I love
young
that.
ones excel and succeed in whatever they do.
That's why we do what we do, right? And I
Yes.
know for the last year and a half, it has been somewhat challenging. Many countries have had to address the challenges of COVID, the COVID pandemic, that is. and it has been very challenging as it relates to education. What are some of the challenges that Nigeria experienced and continue to experience during this time?
When you talk about challenges, we can go on and on because the challenges are enormous, especially for Nigeria. Before COVID-19, we had so many challenges, and then with the pandemic, it's even worse. So one of the major challenges, especially for the TVET sector, is there is non-availability of open educational resources for the TVET sector. And you know that during the pandemic, many of the institutions went online. And without this OER, sometimes it can be difficult. And then because many of us were moving online, holding practical classes online can also be a challenge. It is a challenge. Many schools, even including my institutions, were not able to hold practical classes online. And because the shift to the online learning was like an emergency response, many institutions were trying to survive first and then before stabilizing. We also have the challenge of we do not have the basic ICT infrastructure. And without the basic ICT infrastructure, it will impede the implementation of remote learning. And human resource capacity, we know that it is different um, for you to be an online training. This is different from being a face-to-face trainer. An online trainer is different from a face-to-face trainer. So, and it's not the same. So many of my colleagues, many lecturers, many teachers are not well equipped for this new role. Many of them had no experience of being online course tutor. So that was another major challenge we had. And in addition to that, many of our learners also lack the knowledge and skills in assessing online learning. And we had problem of data, internet accessibility, electricity, um, the digital tools for some of these students. And I remember I was having a session on WhatsApp because, again, many of the digital tools, for example, the learning management system, is not available in some institutions in Nigeria. So we have to use the available platforms like the Moodle, the Telegram, the Facebook, the Zoom. Even with the Zoom, the synchronous activities is usually very expensive when it comes to data for the students. So we prefer to go to use the WhatsApp platform. And I remember in one of the online sessions, I noticed one of my students was not participating in the class. So when I called her to ask, I noticed you don't participate in my class. And she told me that she had challenge of electricity. She had not had electricity for days and even running for weeks, so she couldn't charge her phone. And there was no data. So these are some of the challenges that we face, in Nigeria. And many of our students face that. So as teachers, we need to be empathetic, and sympathize with the students and with the learners and see how we can help them to forge ahead.
Very revealing, Dr. Doherty. I think you have touched on so many points in this one little description of the event, because globally, I think your situation is not isolated, because many countries, for example, Jamaica and the Caribbean, are having a similar sort of effect as a result of COVID-19. You touch on something very interesting, and I think my colleagues back at UCF might want you to shed a little light on this, because we're practically doing some research in this area. And my question to you, following up, you have mentioned the skills necessary to teach online or remote. Do you think there should be a specific program or development course or professional development for people who want to teach online in the future to understand that teaching face-to-face is different from online? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. I agree with you that there should be programs specifically targeted at trainers and lecturers on how to teach online. You know, what has helped us in Yaba College of Technology is because of the collaboration that we have with some international organizations, like the Commonwealth of Learning in Canada. So they have a lot of training for teachers on how to teach remotely, how to teach online. So, and many people, well, those who want to, who have interest, who have gone through those courses, those programs have enhanced their knowledge and their skills. So, because without those capacity development, it will be very, very difficult for teachers to teach effectively online and to engage the students. Because I know that there have been some complaints also by some learners in other institutions that what the facilitators or the teachers just do is to dump the lecture notes online or on WhatsApp, and they say that is online teaching. But we know that it goes beyond that. That is not online teaching. But
Yes.
for someone who has gone through the capacity building, we know that you need to engage your learners actively when you are online. Without that, learning will not take place.
Powerful, powerful, powerful discussion and thoughts. Thanks for sharing. I read about the Nigerian Emergency Working Group. The document is extensive because they wrote a document. Can you tell me a little more about the working group and some of the strategies they implemented to respond to COVID-19?
Well, I also saw that document, but I saw that document last year, and I may not be able to give you specific details about that working group. But what I know is that that project is focused on the northeast of Nigeria. You know,
Okay.
I'm in the southwest of Nigeria.
It's not across, it's not across, it doesn't extend then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, and the northeast is faced with a lot of crises, especially insecurity, which
Mm-hmm.
have resulted in displacement of many people. So
Mm-hmm.
they've had this problem before COVID. And then with COVID, you now have closure of schools, you know, and then many of the children are in IDP camps. So you can imagine with COVID, the problem it's going to expand even much more. So that project, like I said, is focused on the northeast because of the peculiarity of that particular region. And I know that they are specifically focused on three states: Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states in Nigeria. And the program focuses on children in the displaced camps, the girls focuses on girls in particular, and then children with special needs. So, and I think some of the responses providing digital tools for the children during the pandemic, giving them access to radio programs that have been developed, and then TV programs, print materials, and I think even laptops were also given to this set of children in order for learning to continue.